Okay, I hope we're ready for this big fancy cylinder tank install. It's Saturday morning, the boys are all here, they're waiting for me to start the truck up, so we're ready to head out. Let's go! To set up that 36-inch diameter, 42-inch tall cylinder reef tank. You saw that me and Scott Leaf had been there previously and dug out the trench to bury the pipes, which would be the drain lines and some passage for some of the electrical. Scott is going to be assembling the filter system. He's also in charge of doing the new Apex. And when I say Apex, we're talking Aquarium controller. And when I say new, it's their brand new version. So as knowledgeable as Scott is in the Apex, even the new version, even when Windows comes out with a new version, is always not an improvement, or should I say is an improvement, but also a change. So Scott's got all that stuff pre-programmed at home, and from what I understand, we're probably not actually going to set that portion of it up today, partly because we'll be consumed with getting the system set up, the aquarium system, filter system, and then the other party that's involved is Cande. You also saw Cande assembling that coral reef structure out in front of my driveway. So I've rented a big truck here. I've got everything loaded up in the truck, the tank, the stand, filter system, all the components, 100 gallons of water, and I've also got the guys following me in a little bit of a caravan. Scott's driving my van that's got ladders and tools and other equipment inside there. And Cande is behind him with more tools and equipment. Because who knows, you can never have enough tools and equipment. So we're en route and should be there shortly to start offloading everything. Okay, so we've arrived. There's the tank. The stand is there. Here's the tub of live rock. There's all the water, a lot of the supplies and pipe, and there's the van with tools and Cande's van. And so I'll tell you where we're going to end up putting this. So we'll probably carry everything around over there. So here is our container. Hi, boys.
Hey.
Hey. Of course, you know Cande, you know Scott, and that's Reggie. That's our box or filter box. And the patio is all finished and nicey nice. Here is where everything's going to get set up right over here. So the boys are getting the lid off and kind of getting the filter box ready. Need to move some furniture here. Again, this is where the tank is going to go right here. So we're going to move the furniture and then we'll start bringing in the stand and the tank. All right, so the rock will come off the truck in the tub. All right.
Inevitably, we get delayed for the camera, and Jim gets the easy job.
Yeah, I can put it on the tripod.
Man.
Just stop.
Don't strain yourself.
Do you need help, or are you guys going to do it?
You good shrink?
All right, hang on.
So the boys seem to need me to be involved in the heavy lifting work. I guess Superman needs to do his part, huh? But I will let them pull the cart of rock through the yard themselves.
If one of you wants to get a 5-gallon jug of salt water, we can drape those towels over it and then pour some water in there, keep it moist maybe. All right, so there's the rock. So here come the boys with the metal stand. 30 inches tall, powder coated, 2-inch steel tube, plywood top.
Sit down here. First, want to map out the center line.
One of the tricks will be is it has to slip over those, and with that cross member, that'll define where exactly it's going to fit
Get
there.
a tape
so.
measure and blue tape.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're what, marking where the center point will be?
Roughly, yeah.
This will define ultimately where the whole unit sits.
Well, I wanted to get a square off the wall, but
One of those L-shaped.
The angled one, the yellow one that was on my workbench that I didn't bring.
And Scott has marked where the center point of the stand should be, and that it clears the tubes as well as the electrical conduit that rises up from the floor.
I'm gonna take it down.
So
here.
where the pipes come through on the bottom, as well as that cross piece, kind of define exactly where the stand's going to sit, but we've kind of predetermined that it'll be up against, centered against that wall. Okay, so you might recall one of the things we did initially was number those pipes, so we would know which corresponding end occurred out here, and that is what he is currently defining. That way we know which drain pipe carries the water and which drain pipe has the electrical in it. So, and then this is the filter box. They'd put a divider in there for us, which we specified, but things change. So that was removed, or at least broke out. And again, this will be where the filter system will sit down inside here. We'll have to drill holes in here to bring the plumbing in. Holes for ventilation. This is where the chiller's going to be. There'll have to be a big vent hole at this end. So, anyhow, as soon as we get the stand and the plumbing situated, then Cande and Reggie will bring in the tank. And we need to get the bulkheads and such in it. And then once the tank's on there, they can start doing their rock work. So you might remember when we originally buried the pipe to also confirm we got the right ones. Can you hear him in there?
Yes, sir.
It's kind of like the old tin can and string kind of thing.
No mark thing up going on?
No boy, didn't pay the bill, got the line cut.
Got the line cut, didn't pay the phone bill.
He had AT&T.
Oh, okay.
Cut into it. Take the wires.
There we go.
So he's cutting the gray PVC, which also has the electrical in there, so.
Should break now.
We need a little more action, I think.
It's,
Yeah, careful you don't electrocute yourself, Reggie.
hopefully those things aren't hot.
Me too.
Stick your tongues on the end of those leads.
We'll do that
Here,
tomorrow.
give me that cap.
All right.
Hi, my name's Jim Stime, and I'm the producer and the voice of the LA Fishguys video series. With today's digital world and social media, the printed word seems to have fallen by the wayside. Videos via YouTube and social media are now the key means of getting your word or product in front of your customers. With 8 years of LA Fishguys videos, I'm now offering my services of video production to you. And what I can offer is prompt, reliable, and affordable. I can create your concept and storyboard, I can assemble your video from pictures or video. I can write your script. I can add graphics. I can do voiceovers. And I can film you on location. And with YouTube's aggressive ad rev scanning program towards copyright music infringement, I have my own library of licensed music. If you're interested in what we can create, please contact me via email at jim@aquarium-design.com or telephone me at 805-241-7140. So, your cool nano reef tank is doing great, but you've got an algae problem? Consider the drop from Santa Monica Filtration. 7 sizes to easily fit into the filter compartment of most nano tanks. And just like their bigger cousins, the Hog and the Surf, all use air bubbles and LED light technology to grow algae. Algae that consumes nutrients. And that algae replaces itself at no new cost to you. For more information on Santa Monica Filtration's Drop, Hog, and Surf Algae Scrubbers, visit santa-monica.cc. Hi there, my name's Jim Stime and you know me as the LA Fish Guy. Well, I also wear a couple of other hats. One of them is the jellyfish tank called the Jelly Aquarium, and the third is myfishtank.com. I offer an entire line of acrylic aquariums ranging from rectangular to hexagon, flatback hex, as well as the custom curve front aquariums. There's also an entire line of stands and canopies ranging from MDF to pine to oak with a variety of different finishes available. And the website is even smart enough that you can calculate what the freight and crate charges to your location will be. That's myfishtank.com. It's at this point where I do need to be involved in the heavy lifting. This may be a light tank, but it is an expensive tank. It's what's called a monolithic tank, which means it's spun cast and it has no seams. And for sure, no one had better have any pocket knives either.
So I'm just guiding it up here. Okay, watch out for the edge of the truck.
Not heavy, dude. I got
Oh man, we can walk this.
If you're ready to walk, then go for it.
Let's get your ass so damn tall. You should have stopped growing when you were supposed to.
fucking short people, man. I can't work around short people, Jim.
Go up the hill, you think, or what?
Yeah, go up the hill.
You gotta go down to the same level.
Oh, Jim's gonna sprain a finger.
Yeah, come on.
See, Jim, you didn't need to worry about the short jokes. Connie's got enough of them for all of us.
Careful there, boys. Don't trip.
We'll stand this thing over there, Durzo side, or overflow side up, ideally. Lay it down, rather. Lay it down or sit down. Sit down for me.
All right, so here's the tank. There's the internal overflow. I purposely had the overflow placed at the back of the tank, not in the center. That would have, you would think it would be better in the center, but in fact putting it at the back allows for a easier installation of the rock. I think a much greater display lap, for lack of a better description, of the rock. And what we're going to do now is place the bulkheads in the bottom of the overflow. There's also a series of holes down the side of the internal overflow on both sides where the internal Tunzi pumps and the return line will go. There are no fittings through the bottom of the tank. All the internal circulation will be done via the Tunzis, which are the internal pumps. Okay, so they're positioning the bulkheads on the sides of the overflow. Again, that's where
Before we
the
tighten this one down, let's just see what
Tunzis will
Durzo-
mount to. Scott's got a special arrangement he's made. That's the Durzo standpipe going into the internal overflow. That will raise the water level in the overflow, thus making it much quieter so you don't hear the water splashing into the overflow. It creates kind of a pseudo siphon. It offers no real filtration, but what it does is it makes the overflow real quiet. Then there's also another bulkhead down on the bottom that'll become the return line from the filter system. Alright, so he's slowly starting to glue pieces together, getting the bulkhead in the bottom of the tank. Once we get the plumbing items out of the way, we can then lift the tank up onto the stand inside there. And at that point, other than making a few connections on the underside of the tank, we can then allow Cande and Reggie to start doing the rock work. And of course at that point Scott will come out and start working on the filter system inside the box here. Both the drain from the tank and the water's return line will pass up through the bottom of the internal overflow.
So he's now assembling the return line that's inside the overflow. It's a 1-inch line that comes up inside. It'll end up splitting, stepping down to 2 3/4-inch lines that will probably have some flexible tubing that will then come through some bulkheads at the top of the overflow. And that's where the lock line or the knuckles will then come out into a set of flares. So you can see the bulkheads he's got there on the inside of the overflow.
I had him, Cande.
On either side, actually.
Yep.
On either side, there's a pair of 1-inchers on either side, and then a single 3/4-inch. The 1-inchers will be where his Tunzi pumps power cords pass through, and where the base of them will attach. The 3/4-inch will be the returns from the T, which is what he's working on now. So he's finishing up on the return pipe coming up inside the overflow. I've asked him to think twice and cut once, just to make sure. And they're on the verge of getting ready to put that down inside the overflow. So we've not put the bulkhead at the bottom in place yet. That way we can kind of determine, get both pipes in there and determine lengths.
Got it?
Yep. So it's going to get a little crowded in there, but
Go up further. No, hang on. Let's not come out that far. We're going to put it right around there, I think is probably going to be best bet. It'll give us most amount of space. This one comes straight up, that'll go into there, like so. Alright, let's mark that somehow. Where's a pen?
was over on the table. I don't know where it walked off to. You know how they sprout legs.
Make sure I like that length.
So at some point, the return pipe, which splits into two barbed fittings, will then have soft tubing that will run from those barbed fittings to another pair of barbed fittings that will be here at the top of the overflow.
What's that? I cut it a little long.
And that's what he's cutting now. And those need to be kind of defined before that 1-inch return pipe inside the overflow is officially glued in or threaded in. And that's what Reggie's going to be doing down there, is he'll be threading the bulkhead.
Don't.
You gotta bring it down some.
Too long?
No, it's too
Short rather?
you gotta bring it right. You so you can push it through.
Alright, hang on. I gotta.
And with the bottom of the return line secured into its bulkhead, Scott can now slide the soft tubing over the barb fittings that are attached to the discharge bulkheads at the top inside of the internal overflow.
So the bulkhead for the return is now in place at the bottom of the overflow. And that will ultimately bring the water up
Bulkhead?
Yeah, just
inside.
hand tighten.
Okay, turn it down.
That will ultimately bring the water from the filter system back up inside the
Right
tank.
there, yeah.
You got it?
Yeah, that should be
And
okay.
then that'll return at the top.
And with the internal overflows drained and return lines now completed, Scott will begin to install the Tunzi internal pumps. So make it a point to join us for part 3 of the cylinder reef tank installation.